Welcome to Just the Facts for Saving America. This is your host, Dr. David D. Schein, and we have a wonderful guest today. Erika Hatfield has a fascinating background that included living in Germany as East Germany broke away from the USSR, and of course, many of us remember that well. Today, she works full-time as a data management analyst for a Fortune 500 financial company. Erika has been invited today because her avocational interest is connecting the people in politics. She is the state director of Convention of the States, Action, Texas. Welcome, Erika.
Thank you so much for inviting me, David.
Well, you're very welcome. We're looking forward to getting some information about Convention of the States. What caused you to have an interest in politics in the first place?
I am the generation of Schoolhouse Rocks. So if you want to go back that far, right? So if for those of you that don't know about Schoolhouse Rocks, just search it and you'll find the videos, but they are from the 70s. But my mom is an immigrant. She's a complete history buff. And I moved to Germany, like you had mentioned. I lived there for 15 years. I lived directly on the east-west border. I saw when the border opened up, I was there in 1989, November, heard Ronald Reagan on the radio, on the TV, and all of a sudden the border was open and a flood of people came through. So here I am again in Texas where we have another flood of people coming through, but freedom is at stake. It's always at stake. It's always, freedom, liberty is always a battle. Tyranny will never sleep.
Right. Well, it sounds like some wonderful experience there. And of course, like I said, a lot of us who a little bit more gray hair have been through that and remember vividly the circumstances that led up to that. And I want to ask you, Texas became the 11th state to pass the Convention of States resolution on May 4th, 2017. So that's over 4 years ago. What does this mean, and how many more states need to endorse the Convention of States before it can become a reality?
Right. So Convention of States is based off of Article 5 of the Constitution. Article 5 tells us it's got two parts to it, Part A and Part B. Part A tells us Congress can propose amendments and the states will then ratify them. And then that's been done 27 times. We have 27 amendments. Part B says the states can propose amendments, and that's never been done before. So that's what this project is about. So what that means is we have 15 states that have passed a resolution, meaning that they have said, yes, we want to join a Convention of States. The Convention of States project that we advocate for is a limited Convention of States, meaning every resolution that has been submitted by the 15 states and the other states that will follow is limited to imposing fiscal restraints on the federal government, limiting the power and jurisdiction of the federal government, and term limits on Congress and federal officials. So those are the three items, the three categories that this particular project is advocating for. So from that perspective, again, limited Convention of States.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and it's very important to many of us in the conservative side of things, because one of the concerns that's frequently brought up is that many of us want to preserve the Constitution, and of course there are a lot of folks out there who are causing problems and could potentially try and corrupt the Constitution and make it a more socialist or communist document. So the fact that it's limited, I think, is very important to presenting it to the public.
Right. The limitations are conservative limitations. The leftists are not going to want to impose fiscal restraints on the federal government. They want more government.
Right.
The leftists don't want to limit the power and jurisdiction of the federal government. The leftists don't want term limits for Congress and federal officials. They want to continue on. So it's not an interesting convention for them. But they could come in and propose whatever they want, but it would be out of order. So any proposals that are not within those categories is out of order. We all know Robert's Rules of Order.
Yes, sometimes they're kind of fractured, but people do try and follow them. That's for sure. And is there a way to achieve the rightful objectives of the COS, like term limits, without allowing the socialist wish list to be included? And of course, you've just mentioned that is that because of the structure built into the Constitution. Now, for our viewers and listeners today, how can people get more information about this fascinating and important situation?
Right. Our website is conventionofstates.com.
Mhm.
And if you go to that website, you'll find a petition that you can sign, and the petition will send an automatic email to your legislators, your state legislators to be exact. And then you can also go to the tab called Take Action if you want to volunteer.
Sounds good. And we really appreciate Hatfield from Convention of States for Texas joining us today on Just the Facts for Saving America.